Coming up from the Czech Republic, we go back down memory lane with Team Novi Sad Alwada, the only team who's played in every single edition of the Prague Masters. Last year's sharpshooter who got a chance to play for an NBA team is now firing them for Saskatoon. Yes, sir. How shedding excess kilograms has turned Zamun's Nicola Vukovich into a lean, mean 3x3 fighting machine. It's quick, it's epic, and now it's Olympic, baby. Welcome to the world of FIBA 3x3 basketball, a game played with non-stop music on a half court between two teams of 3 players competing in a 10-minute game or the first to 21 points. Previously on the FIBA 3x3 World Tour, Novi Sad Alwada made their debut in Utsunomiya, Japan, and already secured a trip to the World Tour final after an overtime thriller against Team Piran in the final. That means the winners of the last 4 editions of the World Tour got the first 2 tickets to Beijing. And you know what the good news is, right? Both teams are traveling to Prague for the 3rd Masters of the season. All right, so guys, believe it or not, this is already the 5th edition of the Prague Masters, and you 3 have participated in every single edition. I'm gonna take y'all back down memory lane real quick. Is that cool? Yeah. 2013, the first Prague Masters that you guys won. It didn't start off too good. If you guys remember, I'm gonna show you a clip and see what you think about this. You lost to Oshtova in St. Petersburg. Who is this dude right here with no beard? Looking like a baby. You got milk still on your tongue.
I just remember the situation. After the game, we were sitting there, all 4 of us, and we were like disappointed, but we passed the group and we won the tournament. So at the end, it was all cool.
2014 semifinals. Dusan beating his chest like this. What was that emotion like for you?
It was different back then because you have an opportunity to play just one World Tour.
Yeah.
I felt an enormous pressure on myself because I wanted, to show everybody that we can be the #1 team.
What was your first World Tour memory?
My first World Tour memory, it was I didn't make any point in the final of the Prague Master 2014.
Oh, who was that? Who was that that you crossed in against, was it Bucharest?
Yeah, it's one guy from Bucharest.
So you gave that cross a little extra sauce. And look at this, look at this. 2015, you guys come back to Prague after you win the World Tour for the first time, and things don't go as planned. When you do see the losses, like I'm looking at the 2015 quarterfinal against Paris.
They make a career out of that game.
But how can you blame them? It's a feat, They
didn't pass the group next 4 years.
I know.
And they're like, we beat Novi Sad one time. Yeah, I think the first time in our life we felt fatigued because of that traveling, because 5 days before that we was in Manila. Yeah. It was just lesson to learn.
We'll move on to 2016, and then this happens. The Birdman with the block.
They play a really good game in the semifinal. They beat us, and that is the normal thing in sport.
Now it's 2017. You already got 2 Prague Masters wins in your history. The reigning champs are back, Ljubljana this year. But I know that you guys feel like you control your own destiny. You're not so much looking at the opponent.
We come back this year.
They're coming back this year. Novi Sad Alwada. This is how it goes down, a trip down memory lane. Hey, I appreciate you, fellas.
Thank you.
Good luck out there. Novi Sad Alwada didn't win the World Tour in 2016, and they didn't play in the opening Masters of 2017 in Saskatoon. So how long would it take for them to set the record straight? Well, order got restored once they won in Utsunomiya. And they showed up in Prague breathing fire too. This team is on a mission, and that's how it looked when they hooped and scooped their way to a couple of first-round wins over Upolec and Zagreb. With Nikola Pavlovic filling in for a 2nd straight event for the injured Marco Zero, Novi Sad Alwada looked extremely good. Dusan Bullets showed off his killer spin move, leaving Zagreb dazed and confused. Now, Novi Sad isn't a one-man team, and Utsunomiya MVP Dejan Majsorovic reminded everybody of that in the 2nd win against Upolec when he dropped 9 points tying Dusan Bullett's 9-point mark. The Maestro was hotter than bikini weather. He dropped 4 shots from deep in a 22-12 run. Last week in Japan, Ljubljana looked nothing like the team that won the World Tour last year and the Saskatoon Masters in July. And with Tomo Chait still out with a back injury and an opening loss to Ostrava, the future looked bleak for the Slovenian. But the number 2 3x3 team in the world has been here before. Birdman set the tone with a one-handed smash in a do-or-die game against Vitesse and spread his wings again on a putback with 4 minutes to go. You could tell things were starting to click when the Iceman Herzegovich scored on the give and go. And just like last year, Ljubljana survived a 3-way tie in the pools phase on overall points and advanced to the quarterfinals. And last year, they never looked back and went on to win the whole thing. The best cure for a hangover is to win. So that's what Saskatoon needed after hosting their first Masters of the season and losing to Ljubljana in the final. Mike Linklater and company first beat Colobrze and then Belgrade to take the top spot in Group C. Steve Sir of Saskatoon, the World Tour rookie, you know who I'm talking about. Sir, yes sir, he did what he does best, knocking down 4 shots that were deeper than 8 bars from Kendrick Lamar against Colobrze. Mike Liefers did his best imitation of a jumping jack and helped reject Belgrade in the first round. You know who else was balling against the team from Serbia? Nolan Brudel. The dude showed some flair, but he also showed some power as Saskatoon finished the opening round of play with a 2-0 record. Group D was just pure fun for the fans to watch. Not only did Zamoon Master and Krakow R8 Basket battle for first place, they did so in thrilling fashion. Michael Money in the Bank Hicks, just one day after the tragic death of his mother, forced overtime with a long jumper that only he and he alone was going to take. That's why they called him Money in the Bank. He knows how to celebrate too, don't he? Hicks was the day's top scorer with 26 points, but the plot only thickened in overtime. Hicks and Krakow were just a couple of seconds away from celebrating the win when Bogdan Dragovic hit his third 2-pointer of the game, slaying Krakow. They don't call him the Dragon for nothing. Novi Sad Al-Wada, who got a combined 17 points in their 2 wins from the number 1 ranked player in the world, Dusan Bullet, and Upalec, progressed to the quarterfinals from Group A. Ljubljana and Vitesse from Group B, Saskatoon and Belgrade from Group C, and Zamoon Master and, of course, Hicks-inspired Krakow from Group D. Alex Coops may not be the first guy you think about when it comes to Ljubljana's players to hit those deep shots. But that doesn't mean he can't make them, right? Well, he was good enough to reach the shootout contest final at the Prague Masters, and then some. Coops, Saskatoon Steve Sir, Vitesse's Jelko Palavra, and Utsunomiya MVP Dejan Majstorovic of Novi Sad Al-Wada made it to the final. Now check this out. Coops, Sir, and Palavra each finished with 11 points, and the Maestro just 9. So when you have a 3-way tie, the player that took the least amount of time to make his shots wins. Coops, who hadn't hit a 2 in Prague for Ljubljana, was the surprise winner. He won the tiebreaker because he still had 15 seconds left, 8 seconds faster than Palavra, and just 4 seconds quicker than Sir. Saskatoon finally got a man they'd been chasing for several years when Canadian marksman Steve Sir joined the team for the World Tour. The owner of the best 3-point shooting percentage of all time in NCAA history has injected some quality to the cause. 34-year-old Sir is so good that only last year he played in the Summer League for the Milwaukee Bucks.
It was an incredible experience. The off days that we had, you could go work out with some of the NBA guys. When practice was over, you could stay and work with a manager or something like that and get shots up and do extra. And it was as good as it got. It was an amazing experience.
None of this would have happened if Sir hadn't knuckled down and gone for it when he was young.
You know, I didn't have much of a social life in high school. In college, I spent a lot of extra time in the gym in the mornings after practice. During the off season, there was a lot of nights where my wife would come rebound for me because I couldn't convince a teammate.
There are a lot of guys who like to be balling in the Czech Republic, as Sir just did.
If you push yourself and you really commit to buying into the idea that if I work and I build the right habits, there are things that could happen for you that you would have no idea could happen. Like, I didn't even think a couple years ago I'd be sitting in Prague and about to play in a really cool 3-on-3 tournament.
Sir is excited to be playing 3x3, a sport that gained some added prestige with this year's announcement that it would be an Olympic discipline in 2020. Sir's dad, it turns out, is the executive director of Basketball Alberta in Canada, and he's been a big supporter of 3x3. He even predicted several years ago that it would become an Olympic sport.
I think Dad's chest was out a little bit further because there was a lot of people that gave him a lot of crap for saying that, oh man, what's 3-on-3 going to be doing in the Olympics? So when that got announced and everyone was really surprised, he kind of walked into work with the shoulders back and the chest out a little bit and say, I told you. So, you know, he looked like a genius. Right before the announcement, everyone was still saying, oh, this ball is so weird and I can't get used to it. A week later after the announcement, you know, I heard a bunch of people say, you know, the ball's pretty good, I like it. I really like the rules too, it's a lot of fun. So it's amazing how this legitimacy of having something as huge as the Olympics behind it changes everybody's perceptions.
All right, here's a quick look at the quarterfinals bracket, including a can't-miss rematch of last year's semifinals between Saskatoon and Vitesse. For the second time in 2 weeks, Krakow were bound to meet Novi Sad Al-Wadi in the quarterfinals. And when Hicks hit a 2 from Charles Bridge, Polish fans had a glimmer of hope. But the number one team in the world replied with some gaudy passes, courtesy of Marko Savic, a.k.a. the Serbian surgeon, and an MVP performance from Nicola Vukovich, who hit 4 bombs from beyond the arc for a game-high 10 points.
It's really easy to play with them because everybody can do everything, and you need just to be focused, and you're going to be good.
In the much-anticipated matchup between Saskatoon and Vitesse, the Canadians stormed out to an early lead thanks to their captain, Michael Linklater. But then, Jelko Palavra started the magic tricks, and Abra Palavra turned the game around. Saskatoon's sharpshooter Steve Sir leveled the game at 18 apiece with some fireworks from outside the arc, but Palavra capped a 12-point masterpiece with the game winner. Last year's loss suddenly became less painful.
You cannot see that by my nose, but it was very game. And we feel like 7-heaven.
Belgrade dominated Ljubljana last year in the pool phase, and you can tell these two teams knew each other by heart and could anticipate their every move. The reigning champs finally decided to capitalize on their massive height advantage and fed Birdman on the inside. The 7-footer had a team-high 5 points and held Belgrade to just 10 points for the game. Final score, 15-10.
We truly respect Belgrade guys. They play with heart, with passion, with a lot of energy on every game. And this time was in our favor. Next time maybe it's going to be in theirs.
After beating Krakow the day before, Zemun avoided Novi Sad Al-Wadi, but fell right into Upaleć's lap, the last Czech team standing. The local crowd got into it and was brought to their feet when Andrej Šiška took the elevator to the rim.
A nice feed and a one-handed punch from Šiška.
But the Serbs silenced the crowd for good with back-to-back deuces, courtesy of Dejan Pejic and Lazar Rasic.
This season we had problem with quarterfinals. Finally we made it. Now we move to semifinal and everything is about us.
As far as dunking contests go, the one that took place in Prague this year gotta be one of the best of all time. A virtual unknown came out of nowhere. Gediminas Zidlinskas came through qualifying to earn a spot in the semifinal where he competed against Smooth Krivenko of Ukraine and Brit Joel Henry. All three had gravity-defying dunks. Pocket-sized Zidlinskas amazed when he snatched the ball from Henry, went through his legs, and dropped a hammer harder than Thor.
Oh my goodness! Flight number 3
Henry then soared over his prop and threw it down two-handed. Smooth dazzled with a behind-the-back, over-the-head pass to himself that he windmilled home. The final was between Henry and Zitlinskas, and the Ducks just kept getting better. Henry had a classic 360 rim rocker after catching an alley-oop off the side of the backboard.
Oh! Henry getting dizzy with it in Prague.
Zitlinskas used his awe-inspiring hops to fly over Henry before finishing with Jordan Kilgannon's signature scorpion dunk.
I had to bring out a big word for that, a big word for the little man.
Henry threw down the gauntlet when he got some elevation over a two-man prop and had a reverse two-hand smash.
That was a nice answer. Henry saying, crown me. Coming out of the UK,
Zitlinskas, though, rose to the occasion. The Lithuanian flew over a whole group of people and jammed that thing. It was ridiculous.
He's got superpowers, I'm convinced. This dude is higher than airport prices. This dude is higher than Bob Marley on an airplane. This dude is higher than the new suit.
Folks, there's a new star in town, and he goes by the name of Zitlinskas, a.k.a. Mighty Mouse, winner of the Prague dunking contest. He also got a nice 2 G's to take home.
It's an overwhelming experience, you know. I have been in not that many contests, and this place is huge. I love it. I love it.
It's okay if you have a little beef on your bones in 3x3. You know, some muscle. But to perform at the highest level, you better be quick on your feet. Nicola Vukovich discovered just how fit he needed to be when he joined the World Tour in 2015. He was just trying to fill the void in the Zemun master team created by Dejan Majstorović's switch to Novi Sad Al-Wada.
Prvi put kad sam se pojavio na World Touru 2015. godine u Lozani imao sam 140 kg.
When we fill up application for Lausanne 2 years ago, they asked me about the jersey size for Nicola. I know what to write. It was about XXXXL.
You know what it's like for the big man, right? He gotta eat. But the team's gotta come first. And Vukovich was going to be the impact player they needed. Something had to be done. It was all down to him.
Za 2 godine izgubio sam ukupno 36 kg. Naterao sam sam sebe, a glavni razlozi su bili ti što sam se osjećao preteško na terenu. U igri, kada dođe do preuzimanja visokog i niskog igrača, dolazilo je do toga da me niski igrač lagano obiđe, pa sam rešio da smršam zbog toga da bih unapredio svoju igru i da bih stizao te niske igrače, da bih mogao da čuvam odbrani svakog igrača.
The slimmed down version of Vukovich?
I was very surprised when I look at him. I say, wow, where all Nicola go? He was almost the half of man.
Vukovich went from a liability on defense to a Zemun Masters stopper. He was slim, he was trim, but he was still strong. He hadn't sacrificed any muscle.
Osjećam istu snagu kao kad sam imao 140 kg, samo mi je mnogo lakše. Osjećam se lakše, ali imam istu snagu kao kad sam imao 140 kg.
Now he's one of the fastest players in our team, trust me. He runs every day 15 kilometers.
Novi Sad Al-Wada, Vitez, and Ljubljana Zemun on the menu for the semifinals of the Prague Masters. Novi Sad Al-Wada started at a frantic DJ Cutnam type pace and jumped out to a 7-point lead. But Jelko Palavra still had a couple of tricks up his sleeve and managed to knock the game at 12 apiece. The two-time Prague Masters winners shifted into higher gear and took what seemed to be a comfortable lead with Savage's passing and bullets all-around skill. Vitez's hopes were fading until this happened, with 47 seconds to go.
Palavra, up fake, gets him some space. How in the world did he hit that shot? How in the heck did he hit that too?
Vitez had a chance to pull off a major shock, but big teams like Novi Sad Al-Wada don't go down easy. They kept their cool And when Bulletproof went to the line with less than 7 seconds left, he made a free throw to seal the deal.
We were here like every year. Amazing crowd, a lot of Serbians supporting us, and it is always a pleasure to be here and to play here. But, you know, we need to stay focused and win one more game.
In the second semifinal, Zemun got out to the best start with Nicola Vukovich running like a deer on the 3x3 court. But Ljubljana's Birdman rose to the occasion and sent the deer ice skating.
Birdman, here he comes. The one-handed yammer.
The game stayed tight though. Zemun even took the lead again at 13-12. The experience of having been in those difficult moments before helped Ljubljana keep their cool. And when the Birdman, once again got his hands on the ball and saw an open road to the rim, he took it and threw that thing down and tied the game again. The 7-footer was the MVP of this game, and he showed good footwork and then used his strength to go up and score and draw the foul. Zemun put up a good fight, but Hercegovac iced the game with a cold-blooded two-piece and started thinking about the next chapter of the Ljubljana-Novi Sad Awada rivalry.
We are a diesel, so we take a slow start, but at the end, what's matter? It's matter that you are the best when it's needed.
The final showdown in the Czech capital was between the only two teams who have won the World Tour twice. It was the 5th time Ljubljana and Novi Sad Awada were meeting at the World Tour, and the series was tied at 2 wins apiece. Dejan Majstorovic made sure he wouldn't go scoreless this time, though. The Maestro upped the tempo and netted his team's first 6 points. Ljubljana were already down by 4. Fans got a chance to see what makes Novi Sad Awada so special. They went all old school on Ljubljana. A give and go with Savage making a sweet delivery to Pavlovic.
Oh, look at the pass. Savage. Backdoor cut to Pavlovic. And once Novi Sad puts you on the operation table, they're going to dissect you.
Birdman continued his fine play in Prague and showed he spent some time in the gym this summer. Then Yasmin Hercegovac found his range from deep and attempted to come back, but Ljubljana never really mounted a serious threat. And when Mr. Bulletproof started to heat up, it was curtains. He took the Iceman one-on-one, Alice Coops one-on-one. He even took Birdman one-on-one and scored the teardrop over Shrenar's outstretched wings. Bullet scored his 8th and final point for the dub. Only Maestro scored higher with a game-high 9 points.
Get the director's chair, because it's a wrap from here in Prague. Back-to-back $20,000 tournament wins, and they get it done in dominating fashion.
I told everybody one more time, you know, when we are on our level, there is no team that can beat us, and we are showing that. We are not satisfied with this. We want 4 more titles in the World Tour, and then the final.
Novi Sad Awada win their 2nd Masters in 2 weeks and their 3rd title at the Prague Masters in 5 editions. Bullet was the model of consistency and earned his 7th all-time MVP award at the World Tour. He finished with 38 points in Prague, trailing only Bosnian superstar Jelko Palavra in the scoring charts. There was some scintillating, stunning plays at the Prague Masters, y'all. Sit back and enjoy the top 5. At number 5, somebody decided to have a block party, and his name was Michael Liefers, the Saskatoon Swatter. You ain't invited Dusan Popovic? Coming in number 4, Dusan Bullet with his now you see me, now you don't spin move. When he drives into the lane, he makes it look easier than a layup drill.
Oh, you lost him. Somebody get that man a GPS.
Then at number 3, the Birdman sends Nicola Vukovich for a nap, takes flight, and jams it home. 2 hands for safety. At number 2, The Dragon Bogdan Dragovic comes to the rescue for Zamoon Master and scorches Krakow with a clutch dagger in overtime. And the number one play? Oh, you didn't know who Andrei Shishko was? You didn't know he had a little TNT in his calf muscles? The pocket-sized Upalech star takes the baseline, and he's going up on a Sunday. Novi Sad Al-Wada started their World Tour campaign with a bang. Will they make it 3 wins in a row in their first appearance in Lausanne, Switzerland on August 25th and 26th? We can't wait to find out. Now remember, you can follow it live with the hashtag 3x3WT on FIBA 3x3 social media accounts on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. For now, peace out from the city of 100 spires. We'll see you soon next time in the Olympic capital with the best players in the world descended upon Lausanne.